A very good afternoon and welcome. This is Lunchtime News here on MTV Sports. I'm Ramesh Bandara. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. New number plate system to be introduced for light vehicles. Staff of the Gonagala Provincial Hospital in Ampara refrained from duties in protest against the assault of a minor staff employee. And 1 million people evacuated in Bangladesh as a tropical cyclone is set to make landfall. On to those stories in detail now. The Department of Motor Traffic has decided to introduce a new number plate system for light vehicles. Commissioner General of Motor Traffic S.A. Harishchandra says that the objective of this measure is to avoid any irregularities. He went on to note that the three-letter English number sequence was first provided to three-wheelers, followed by motorbikes, and the sequence will now be introduced for light vehicles. On to other local news. Doctors and staff members of the Gonagala Divisional Hospital in Ampara refrained from duties today in protest against the alleged assault of a junior worker at the hospital by an external individual.
The junior worker attached to the Gonagala Divisional Hospital was assaulted last night. The doctors at the hospital say that an individual who was under the influence of alcohol and who had arrived at the hospital with a patient had assaulted the junior worker. Therefore, the doctors and staff members of the hospital refrained from all duties since this morning in protest against the assault. However, the emergency unit of the hospital had functioned as usual. Meanwhile, a group of farmers in a village belonging to the Mahavali zone in the Sevanagal area in Ambalipitia commenced a demonstration opposite the Mahavali Authority Zonal Manager's office. The farmers demanded that permits be granted to their paddy fields.
The Government Medical Officers Association, or GMOA, says that there are issues in the legal provisions pertaining to individuals who impersonate doctors. Secretary of the GMOA, Dr. Chandika Epatikadu, made this observation at a media briefing convened in Colombo yesterday.
It is the responsibility of the government of Sri Lanka and the Ministry of Health to take action against those who impersonate doctors. There are legal provisions. If a complaint is made, there is a process that the Ministry of Health should follow when acting on this manner. However, the outcome of this process is very poor.
Outcome එකකින් ලැබෙන අවසාන ප්‍රතිඵලය ඊටාම දුර්වල මට්ටමක තියෙන්නේ. උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් රුපියල් 850ක පමණ වන්දියක්
The reason for this is the issues in the legal provisions.
Well, the Chief Medical Officer of the Colombo Municipal Council, Dr. Pradeep Karyavasam, says that steps will be taken to register all dance cells organized in and around Colombo in view of Vesak.
The Chief Medical Officer at the CMC said that this step is being taken to ensure the safety of the food items served at dancehals during the festive season. Dr. Pradeep Karyavasam added that those who organize dancehals in and around Colombo should register the dancehals at the office of the Chief Medical Officer.
An individual was killed in a shooting last night in Paluatta, Beliatta.
Police media spokesperson S.V. Buddhika Sevardhana said preliminary investigations have revealed that a group that arrived in a three-wheeler had shot the individual. The victim was a 20-year-old from Beliatta. The body is currently lying at the Beliatta District Hospital. Investigations are underway to nab the perpetrators.
Staying in local news, Chief Minister of the Central Province Sarath Ekanayake says that steps will be taken to resolve the issue pertaining to the lack of teachers in certain educational zones. Now, the Chief Minister notes that there is a lack of teachers for English, Science, Maths and Commerce subjects. Sarath Ekanayake went on to note that the issues exist in all zones in Nuwara as well as in most educational zones in the Matley and Kandy districts as well.
There isn't an issue in allocating teachers.
However, there is an issue for special subjects. For example, there is only one English teacher for nearly 200 students in the Riga educational zone. There aren't enough teachers for subjects such as science and maths as well. However, this doesn't mean that there are sufficient teachers in towns. The same issue exists in primary schools in the towns. We are continuing to recruit graduates in this field. We have called for applications from individuals who hold national diplomas in English as well. We have called for applications from graduates in the fields of science, maths, arts, information technology and commerce as well in order to give appointments. Well, the primary section of the Don Bosco School in Hatton will remain closed until Monday due to earth slips. Principal of the school, M. Cruz, said that grades 1 to 4 have been closed. An earth embankment collapsed onto a section of the Don Bosco College Primary School yesterday with the heavy rains experienced in Hatton. 450 students in the primary section of the school were therefore given holidays. Meanwhile, a Grama Seva officer who did not take necessary measures to provide relief to those affected by the rains has been transferred. Noralia District Secretary DPG Kumarasri stated that the Secretariat has received information regarding several other Grama Seva officers who had not fulfilled their duties. On to sports news now. The Ministry of Sports reiterates that making sports compulsory in the school curriculum will ensure the development of sports in the country. Issuing a release, the ministry points out that steps have been taken to appoint a committee which will enforce ministerial decisions and ensure that sports in schools are being carried out in a proper manner.
This initiative has been launched by the Ministry of Sports in collaboration with the Ministry of Education to develop sports both at the school level and national level. The committee that will overlook this initiative is headed by the Secretary to the Ministry of Sports, Anuja Vikrama, and the Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Gotabaya Jaratna. A special program will be implemented from the next academic term to develop sports at the school level. A decision has also been taken not to allow school children under the age of 13 to take part in competitive sports. The release issued by the Ministry of Sports adds that steps also will be taken to ensure that the health and physical education subjects studied by students between grade 6 and 9 are up to standard. Steps will also be taken to allocate more time for health and physical education for students in grades 10 and 11.
And on that note, we wrap up this edition of Lunchtime News. For the News First team, I'm Rameshwar Bandara. Take care.